2022. Sending written notice to the Courier Post on July 26, 2021, August 24th, 2021, December 3rd, 2021, and January 3rd, 2022. Filing written notice with the clerk of Voorhees Township on July 26, 2021, August 24th, 2021, December 3rd, 2021, and January 3rd, 2022. Posting on the Voorhees Township website on July 26, 2021, August 24th, 2021, December 3rd, 2021, and January 3rd, 2022. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which I stand, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next topic will be summary of election results. The formal results were posted on November 15th, 2021. And the new board members are Monica Watson with 3,804 votes, Randy Stubler with 3,600 votes, and Rachel Van Auken with 3,493 votes. The next step will be swearing in our new members. We have Amy Guerin here from Parker McKay, and she will be conducting the oath of office for each member. Each of you should have received an email with the oath. Amy, do you want to do them one at a time or all together? How would you like to do this?
Well, it's really the board's preference, but in other districts, I do everybody as a group. Is that acceptable? Okay. Well, I'm pleased to administer the oath to Monica Watson, Randy Stupler, and Rachel Van Auken. If I could ask you all to stand and raise your right hands. Thank you. Kindly repeat after me, except where I say state your name, you can state your individual names. I state your name.
I, Monica Watson,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Monica Watson,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member
for the office of member
of a Board of Education,
of the Board of Education,
and am not disqualified as a voter
and am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to statute,
pursuant to statute,
am not disqualified
not disqualified
due to conviction of a crime or offense
due to conviction, crime, or offense
listed in statute,
listed in statute,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me.
God.
Congratulations to all of you. You have been sworn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I call the roll, I just wanted to make an announcement. Today, we received the letter of resignation from Mrs. Dawn Wallace. She is going to resign from the board effective today. We would like to thank her for her 5 years of service. It's been a pleasure working with her, and we will definitely miss her. I will now call the roll. Jason Bryce,
Here.
Kelly Cosenza,
Here.
Dana Galliano,
Here.
Dr. Marissa Levy,
Here.
John Schmuse,
Here.
Rachel Van Auken,
Here.
Monica Watson,
Here.
Randy Stupler.
Here.
Thank you. The next section is the Code of Ethics for board members. The 3 new board members have received a code of ethics that they are to read and sign and then mail back into us for our files. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Next, we will do the election of president. What we'll do is we'll open it for nominations, and then we'll vote to close the nominations. And then I'll take a roll call vote, and you'll just tell me the name of the person that you are voting for. So let me just get to that part. Okay, so. All right. So could I have a nomination for president?
I'd like to nominate Monica Watson as president. And just a quick comment, when I think about what we need as a president of the Board of Ed, I think of the following attributes: ethical, communicative, and dependable. And Monica is all of these. She has been a source of support and leadership and knowledge, and we know that she will continue to lead us well during these continually challenging times.
Do I have any more nominations? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Let's see.
Forgive me, Ms. Haley, did you want to do a motion and a second to close the floor to nominations?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Could I
I'm
have
sorry.
a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Ellen, I'll second that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the voting should be open. If you are on board docs, you can vote. I don't know that Mrs. Stupler has access to that yet.
I was just trying to log in. They just sent me my login, but it's not working. So
Okay. So if you could just, if you want to just tell me yes or no, that we can close the nominations for board president, I will just log you in. I mean, I'll just write it down for you.
now, okay. Yes.
Yes? Okay. Thank you. Does everybody else see it? Or, oh, it doesn't? No, not yet.
I actually haven't gotten the notification to join. Oh, forget it. It just popped up. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't push open voting.
Got it. Thank
A
you.
lot of buttons to push.
Thanks.
Mhm. Okay, the nominations are now closed, all approved. I'm closing that. Let me just, sorry. Oh, it just wiped everybody out. Okay, let's try this again here. I don't know why it's not letting me save this. Sorry, I'm just having a little technical difficulty over here. Okay, all right, so now I will call the roll, and since we have only one person that was nominated, you can just say the name of the person for me. Mr. Bryce? I guess just say, I'll say, would you vote yes for Mrs. Watson?
Oh, okay. I'm switching between screens. I apologize.
That's
Yes,
okay.
I vote for Monica Watson.
Okay, so yes. Okay, Mrs. Cosenza,
Yes.
Mrs. Stupler,
Yes.
Mrs. Galliano, oh, Miss Galliano, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I wanted to abstain from voting. Can I do that?
I believe you can.
Great, thanks.
Dr. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Schmuse,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Auken,
Yes.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Mrs. Watson. At this point, I think I will finish the nominations for vice president and then I'll turn it over. Is that okay? Okay, so let me move on to that. Okay, so now we're opening the floor for nominations for vice president. Do I have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Rachel Van Auken. Similarly, when I think of somebody who should lead our district, it's somebody who, one, has a phenomenal education background. I mean, Rachel brings something that no one else, quite frankly, brings to the board, and that is a wealth of knowledge in this field that we've all tapped into at various different points, especially during the pandemic. And she has been an incredible asset. To me, she has been a source of support and strength and a strong leader for all of us. She leads with kindness and sympathy and compassion, which is also incredibly important. And quite frankly, she has learned from the training that we've experienced over the time that we've been on the board for the last 3 years. She understands the personalities of the board, which I think is an asset to bringing that to this role. And I think it makes an important leader. So I'm excited to lead with her by my side. We've been partners throughout this entire time, and I look forward to continuing on this journey with her.
Do I have any other nominations?
Can I nominate myself?
Is that a-
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right, very good.
Okay, I know I'm a brand new board member, but I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. I think I could bring a new perspective. I think I could bring balance to this board, which I think we're really lacking moving forward, which I think is probably very critical going forward in the current climate that we're in. I think that we need to get back to policymaking and get back to what we do good as a great district. We're fortunate to live in Voorhees. We're a wonderful community. We have an amazing school district. We have amazing staff. And, you know, I think that's what we need to get back to doing as a board. So, thank you.
Do I have any other nominations? Hearing none, could I have a motion? Could I have a motion to close the nominations for board vice president?
I'll
So
move that.
moved. Second.
Okay, online voting is open for closing the nominations. Mrs. Stupler, would you like me to enter your vote?
Sure, I'm trying to text with Sherry right now, but yes,
Okay,
yes, please.
thank you.
Thank you, sorry.
No problem. Okay, it's unanimous. I will close the online voting. And then hopefully I can save it. Okay, good. All right, so now I will call the roll. If you could just say the last name of the person that you would like to vote for vice president. Mr. Bryce,
Like to vote for last name Van Auken.
okay. Mrs. Cosenza,
Van Auken.
Ms. Galliano,
Stupler.
Dr. Levy,
Van Auken.
Mr. Schmus,
Van Auken.
Mrs. Van Auken. I'm sorry, let me back up a second. Mrs. Stupler,
Stupler,
Mrs. Van Auken,
Van Auken.
Mrs. Watson.
Van Auken.
Mrs. Van Auken has 6 votes. Mrs. Stupler has 2. Mrs. Van Auken will be the vice president. Congratulations to both of you. I have oaths of office that the the two officers will need to be sworn in on, but I actually have to email them to you guys. I know in the meantime, Mr. Redfern had some things he would like to talk about. So what I'll do is I will just work on emailing that if that's okay. Is that okay, Mrs. Karen?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to block my face for a minute and take care of what I need to do over here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Haley. I would like to take a moment to address our unexpected late shift to remote learning this week. I do apologize for the late notice that was given. It was my attempt to hold out every hope to continue to fill vacancies, but I unfortunately ran out of time, and I'd just like to give some explanation and give some background information on that. Over winter break, along with our school principals and nurses, I continue to monitor the positive COVID cases and continue to report them to the community. I'm sure many of you saw those daily emails from Ms. Donnelly that may or may not have surprised you with the sudden uptick. We continue to send these notices per regulations in the road back plan. First, prior to winter break on December 23rd alone, we had approximately 73 cases of close contact. During winter break, families reported 81 cases of positive students. And those were only the ones that were reported to us. I know some families were on vacation. Many families were waiting to get test results or were tested and were waiting to get the results back or could not get a test. Second, over the past weekend, we began to receive an unexpected number of positive staff members that were experiencing symptoms, were trying to get tested, or again, were waiting for results. As of yesterday, we had approximately 70 staff that either tested positive and symptomatic, or were experiencing symptoms and waiting to be tested, or were tested but waiting for their results to come back. This number did not include positive substitutes as they are provided by an outside vendor. Substitutes felt uncomfortable reporting and were withdrawing from their assignments at the last minute, putting us at a further disadvantage. Third, our busing companies were also short-staffed. We reached out to them, the contracted bus companies, to get information and get confirmation that they would be able to provide transportation to all of our students. Being that it was a holiday weekend, there were delays in getting responses, and at that time, they could not make any guarantees. Our food service provider contacted us, and they too were short-staffed, and they would provide one food line at the Voorhees Middle School so that they could staff the other buildings appropriately. Sunday morning, I reached out to the executive county superintendent to inquire about a temporary parent remote option. This way, we could reduce the number of students in the building, possibly allowing us to combine some classrooms while keeping the number of students at an acceptable level. This would alleviate some staffing concerns, and parents would have the choice to send their children or keep them remote. This would not be long-term, but it could help families that feel strongly about having their children return to school. Unfortunately, I was directed that parent choice was not an option by our executive county superintendent, but he was going to reach out to the Department of Education to see if such a request could be granted in the future. As of today, I have not heard or gotten an answer back, but I will continue to follow up. Given all these factors, I thought I had no other option but to transition to all remote instruction, at which time I contacted board leadership. Currently, there are over 20 districts in Camden County that have followed. Remote allows all students to continue learning. No student needs to quarantine. Contact tracing is not needed. There is continuity of classroom and to teachers. Few coverage issues, no busing issues, no lunch issues. Please understand, and I believe I speak for everyone on the board, there is no substitute for in-person instruction. Additionally, by going remote for these 4 days, my hope was allow the positive cases among students and staff to slow down and avoid longer quarantining that may be suggested or implemented by the Department of Health. We do acknowledge that the CDC has shortened the quarantine period to 5 days, 10 days with strict mask wearing. However, we have been directed by the New Jersey Department of Education that the New Jersey Department of Health has not yet accepted that recommendation for schools, and that we must continue to follow the 10-day quarantine period for positive unvaccinated students and staff, or vaccinated symptomatic students and staff, or 8-day return for close contact with a negative test. Please understand that I did not make this decision lightly, and my goal will be to return our students to the classroom as soon as possible with a continued target date of Monday, January 10th. It is our top priority to return our students and to remain in school for the remainder of the school year. And we were looking to implement some additional protocols. On Tuesday, all principals physically inspected classrooms to ensure students are spread apart as much as possible facing the same direction, and made sure that they had updated seating charts for both the classroom and the lunchroom. This afternoon, I met with all building principals and instructed them to develop a plan, if needed, to repurpose staff to fill vacancies going forward. Art, music, library, and other special subjects teachers will be utilized. This will provide us some limited additional staff on a temporary emergency basis. In all good conscience, I cannot recommend doubling up classrooms for 40 to 50 students in a room. Since returning from winter break, our transportation coordinator has been in constant communication with our bus companies, monitoring their ability to ensure that they will be able to provide transportation for our students. We believe that most quarantining transportation employees will be eligible to return Monday, January 10th, 2022. In the event of future shortages should occur, we may reach out to parents of specific bus routes and ask that they provide parent transportation. We would also ask for patience and cooperation should we need to double up bus routes. This would also apply to shortages in food service employees. If needed, we would contact specific schools asking for parents to provide a bagged lunch. Yesterday, I am pleased that I finalized a partnership with a local drive-up testing center that will add Voorhees teachers to its expedited list, giving them priority testing status. This will allow staff to get tested more quickly and receive expedited results. This program will begin tomorrow, January 6th, 2022. I would again urge parents to please keep your child home when they are sick or displaying symptoms of COVID or awaiting test results. Again, I apologize for not providing our families more notice to prepare for this remote schedule, and I will take full responsibility for that. I said on May 6th that I cannot promise that I will not make mistakes, but I will promise that those mistakes were not from lack of effort. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Redfern. And I cannot stress enough that I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Miss Haley, do we need to be sworn in?
That would be great. So
Okay.
I emailed the oaths of office to you guys.
Okay.
That should be in your email right now.
Okay.
So Ms. Guerin, if you want to conduct that oath of office to both the president and vice president, that would be great.
I will. And if I can just confirm, Ms. Haley, that the oaths are the same because I actually did not get one of your emails.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe it's the same.
Yeah, I think they are the same. I just wanted to confirm that what you were sending was the same.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I let you know what, just to be safe, I would feel better. My secretary prepared these for me. I would feel better if I could resend it to you.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Did you get it?
Not quite yet. Let's give it one more second. Yes, I did. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Okay. Shall we start with the presidents?
Sure.
Ms. Watson, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Monica Watson,
I, Monica Watson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith,
and allegiance to the same
allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
with the authority of the people.
So help me God.
Help me God.
I, Monica Watson,
Monica Watson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of President
for the office of President,
of a Board of Education,
Board of Education.
am not disqualified as a voter
Am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to statute,
pursuant to statute.
am not disqualified
Am not disqualified
due to conviction of a crime or offense
due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in statute,
listed in statute,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
partially,
and justly perform
perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to Office of Vice Presidents?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ms. Van Aken, if you can repeat after me. I, Rachel Van Aken,
I, Rachel Van Auken,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Rachel Van Auken,
I, Rachel Van Auken,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of Vice President
for the office of Vice President
of a Board of Education,
of a Board of Education,
and am not disqualified
and am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant to statute,
pursuant to statute,
am not disqualified
am not disqualified
due to conviction of a crime or offense
due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in statute,
listed in statute,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to the president. Go ahead, Mrs. Watson.
Thank you so much, Ms. Haley. So I want to thank Superintendent Redfern again for providing all of the information he did on the background behind the decision. But I also wanted to again reiterate to the public how and when these decisions are made, because I know that there is a lot of misinformation that's out in the public, and a lot of different districts may do things differently. In our district, the decision to go remote is the decision of the superintendent. The board does not vote on whether or not we go remote. We never have. We didn't in 2020 when Dr. Gentile was the superintendent, and we have not since. We do get informed as president and vice president. Superintendent Redfern did let us know on Sunday evening, and then we disseminate the information to the board as a whole. But that's the gist of it. We have never voted on it, and I don't think that we want to change that policy and have the board start voting on that. We're not the appropriate decision-making body. We don't have all of the information. The superintendent and the principals are the correct individuals that have access to staffing numbers, substitute numbers, how the busing information, how to get the schools running efficiently and operating appropriately. And they provide that information, whether or not we can accurately and efficiently operate as a school. And we have to rely on that information when they're making those decisions. Obviously, we can always question that information and we can ask why. And that's part of our job as a board. But that's really the extent of it. So I did want to provide that clarification. That being said, I again want to thank Superintendent Redfern for taking the extra step and recognizing we don't want to be in this position. I don't want my kids at home. I don't think anybody on this board wants their kids at home. We all want our kids in school, learning live. This is the worst case scenario. We don't want to be here for longer than we need to be. I hope it is for these 4 days, and that is it. I hope that we are the exemplary district and that other districts look at us. If you're listening to the other districts, Gibbsboro just announced they're going remote. Mount Laurel's going, there's lots of districts around us that people were enviable because they were live this week that are all going remote now. I'm hoping that we will be live when everybody else is going remote. So I'm hoping that because we made this prudent decision now, we will be in a better position down the road. But we're also making really smart decisions because we're trying to figure out how to avoid these shortages moving forward, what to do about the vacancies, how do we have plan B, C, D, and E? How can we ask for parents to be more supportive? Pack lunches, transportation, carpools, etc. So we are going to have to ask for the community to step up and really support and play a collaborative role in helping all of us. Not throw your hands up and say, remote doesn't work, I'm out, I'm done, my kids aren't doing this, and I'll see you later, which is what we got a lot of responses like, and a lot of emails saying like, I'm done, I'm not doing this. We need more people thinking about creative solutions and how we can work forward and help support our staff in trying to make this work. But most importantly, the timing was awful. We get it. I also apologize on behalf of the board as the president. The timing was unfortunate. Again, we were working really diligently to not have this be the last resort. And that was what ended up happening. And it wasn't enough time for parents to prepare properly. But more importantly, our teachers didn't have enough time, but yet they did it. And that I have to commend them, because as much as our parents did not have time to prepare and take off of work, our teachers also had 24 hours notice to change their lesson plans, completely go remote. Their kids didn't have iPads. They had to change their lesson plans. Their kids don't have textbooks, and they all did it. I watched my kids. I watched Mrs. Gallagher and Mrs. Cole. I watched Mrs. Binkley, the gym teacher, Miss Palumbo, the art teacher. They all were exceptional these last few days. I know I'm only seeing Signal Hill because that's where I am, but I've heard the same from Hamilton. I've heard the same from Osage. These teachers are exceptional. The fact that we could pivot and go remote and still not miss a beat. I get it. This is not ideal. This is not the right learning environment for everyone, and it never will be. Even in person, we can't get it right all the time. But we're trying to do the best we can with what we have. And this is an unfortunate situation around the board. But I do want to say, bravo to all of our administration, bravo to all of our teachers who really did step up and do an exceptional and remarkable job in such a short time frame. And I thank you, because I don't think that my children are suffering right now. Despite not being in the most ideal environment, they are still learning. And I'm happy that they're not sitting at home doing nothing, which a lot of children in other districts are doing. So again, thank you so very much. I'm not sure if any other board members wanted to have comments, but I'm happy to get into the agenda. I wasn't trying to derail the meeting, but I did want to make sure that we thanked our teachers.
Monica, I just want to say, I think there's one additional thing that that Mr. Redfern has done that I think is exceptional. And I know he had the help of a community member, and he would always recognize, not take accolades by himself, but the fact that we are thinking about how do we make testing more accessible to our teachers is phenomenal. So thank you. I know you worked really hard on that, Mr. Redfern, and so important to try to get our teachers back. I know we've got lots of teachers that have symptoms. They're waiting for testing. They can't get testing. I think we're all experiencing that, right? Like you go to Walgreens and there are no tests, or, CVS, there's no tests anywhere. So Mr. Redford, thank you for taking that initiative, working really hard on it, and bringing that for our staff. And absolutely, Monica, you do a fantastic job of always recognizing our teachers, and I just like to say thank you.
Can I speak, please?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I came on the board. What?
I just want to interrupt for 1 second. We don't want to forget the audience participation piece, because board comments actually come after.
Okay, that's fine. I'll wait.
Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
All right, thank you. Mr. Taylor, do we have any audience comments? Not yet. Okay. If the audience wants to type any comments or raise your hand, is it raise the hand, right? If anyone wants to raise their hand.
Well, do you want me to do you want me to do the actual statement?
Mr. Taylor said there's 2 of them. Did they put it in chat? Is that where they put?
No, I mean, Helen, do you want me to read the actual?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach there's no podium. Please raise your hand. Use the raise the hand feature on Zoom to be acknowledged. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Okay.
The first one is Mrs. Wellings. Mrs. Wellings, you're muted. Oh, Mrs. Wellings, can you unmute, please?
There we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Got it. Okay. I need to, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Oh, trying to maneuver my screen here. First of all, I'm confused because Monica, I just heard you say that you didn't vote for kids to stay home and stay remote, but you did twice, and once in 2020 and just recently the last couple of days. So I'm kind of confused about that. I do, basically, after hearing Mr. Redfern and you talk about this virus and all these things you're trying to put into play, first of all, this Omicron variant is mild. Okay, COVID is ending. Okay, and all this mass hysteria is nothing but BS, frankly. Everyone's going to get this, and probably already has. We're gearing towards herd immunity. The more variants, the milder the virus. It's now a common cold. So let's just cut the BS here. It's no longer about a virus. And this charade has gone on long enough. We're talking about masks. Okay, I want to talk about the masks, which I've been talking about we've been talking about this all summer. Okay, there is such a thing called oxygen deprivation mask syndrome. Research reveals that prolonged use of COVID masks, homemade or N95, can cause anywhere from 5% or up to 20% loss of oxygen, leading to hypercapnia, which is excessive carbon dioxide in the bloodstream, typically caused by inadequate respiration. A German neurologist, Dr. Marguerite Gries-Brisson, who specializes in neurotoxicology and environmental medicine, warns that oxygen deprivation from prolonged COVID mask wearing can cause permanent neurological damage. She states, the rebreathing of our exhaled air without a doubt creates oxygen deficiency and a flooding of carbon dioxide. We know that the human brain is very sensitive to oxygen deprivation. There are nerve cells, for example, in the hippocampus that can't be longer than 3 minutes without oxygen. They cannot survive. The acute warning symptoms are headaches, drowsiness, dizziness, issues in concentration, slowing down of the reaction time, reactions of the cognitive system. The reason why so many mask wearers have no clue that this chronic damage is happening to them is because once a person has chronic oxygen deprivation, all of those symptoms disappear because the person gets accustomed to the deprived state. However, their efficiency remains impaired and the lack of appropriate oxygen delivery to the brain continues to dangerously progress. The media and the CDC have hyped the pandemic so much, including the next to harmless Omicron variant, which I just mentioned, that Americans are wearing their masks even when they're completely alone in their home. It's just insane. Children are being deprived of oxygen. So if that doesn't bother you guys as parents, I don't know what will. I don't understand why our kids are continuously masked. What's going to happen is there's going to be damages. There's going to be future claims for these kids that have anxiety. They're affected physically, obviously, neurologically, and there's tons of anxiety and depression, and suicide rates are up. So let's just cut this mask stuff. It's insane and it needs to go. Everybody's going to get this.
Forgive me,
That's time.
forgive me for, okay. I
Thank
was
you.
just going to say.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking my comments. I'm Tony Clock. My address is 2519 High Street. I live in Port Norris, New Jersey, and I teach at Crescent Elementary School. I would like to, first of all, congratulate the board and the reorganization. I also would like to acknowledge and thank the board president and vice president for their kind comments relating to the staff. But I also would, and I know that this is not necessarily intentional, but we certainly need to also acknowledge the amazing work that our school nurses have done and continue to do. They've put in a lot of their own personal time over the break, and they've been called on, to do yeoman's work on this during this pandemic. So we certainly would not want to not recognize their contributions. Also, in addition to our teachers, our teaching staff who have stepped into this situation, also our instructional associates and our secretaries and all of our educational support professionals who are also there every day doing the work to help the students. So I know that was necessarily not really intentional, but we want to certainly acknowledge their contributions as well. And certainly we thank the board and we thank the administration, the principals, and the superintendent for their support. And I can speak for the teachers and the staff. We are very much looking forward to seeing the students on Monday, and God willing, we'll be there all together on Monday. We'll see how that goes. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate your comments. Thank you so much.
Tara Edel.
Hi, yes, thank you. Terry Dell, 32 Christopher Road. Thank you. I just would like to thank Mr. Redfern for, giving us the information on, his decision to, what led up to his decision to close our to go virtual. So I want to thank him for that explanation. And again, I want to thank all the teachers for the last minute decision to do all this. They truly are amazing. I love our teachers. We are living in couldn't be more blessed to be living in Voorhees district where we have so many amazing teachers. So I want to make sure I say that right from the get-go. I know in the past I had mentioned to the board about, especially coming from a mental health perspective, that many of the kids who may be immunocompromised, it would be a wise decision to at least have the option for those kids who are healthy to be in school, and for those who do have health issues to be home, maybe doing virtual. So I mentioned this before in the past, so I was wondering, why this hasn't been looked at earlier in the past. Because that could have been a plan B a long time ago that could have been passed, and we could have gotten that taken care of a while ago. So I know you mentioned that, Mr. Redfern, so I just wanted to follow up with that. And hopefully that's something that we can look at in the future to delay, or at least to keep this from happening again, so that the healthy kids do not have to be, especially special needs kids, do not have to be kept home unnecessarily. So that's that. And in light of Dawn Wallace's stepping down or resigning, which is very unfortunate, and I wish her well in all her future endeavors. I'd just like to formally put in for my nomination for her position for the board. So I am going to be looking forward to that. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Michael Hahn.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. And I want to thank the board and the superintendent for taking action to protect our kids. I would have appreciated more time, but from your description, it makes sense that why it was so late. I have an unrelated question for the board. We recently went through a redistricting, and there's rumors that there might be another redistricting in the plans. I just want to know if there could be a comment at some point about future redistricting plans for the board. Thank you very much.
Eric Simkin.
Okay, you got me?
Yes.
Great. Eric Simkin. I reside at 3 Wyndham Road here in Voorhees. I did have some questions about, school going remote, but Mr. Redford answered those questions, I'm sure. I mean, if there was any collaboration between the board or him, I mean, that would be, I guess discoverable under New Jersey statutes for Open Public Meetings Act, NJAC 10-4-6. So I appreciate that explanation. Thank you. And then I would just leave with this question. Why would this meeting then be remote? Is there a staffing issue or other issue that would cause the board meeting to actually be remote? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Celia Mills.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for letting me speak today. I did email Mr. Redfern and did get response right away, which I appreciate, and I do appreciate the explanation. I think a lot of us parents are frustrated because of the lack of transparency. That was last minute, and had we known a little bit more details, we might have been a little bit more understanding. But I still very frustrated with the lack of planning of Voorhees. I understand that, the short staffing, but we knew this was coming. We knew COVID numbers were coming up. If you watch the news for 5 minutes, you pick that up pretty quickly. I feel like it's the first choice is to close the schools and have the kids go to a remote. My kids have been struggling like many other children. They are getting therapy since COVID has happened. Home is, they don't learn anything. They're not good. They need to be in front of people. They're withdrawn, quiet. They don't want to socialize anymore. It's a big problem. So I think that this definitely needs to be a priority. Monica, you mentioned the parents need to be creative. The directors, people upper ups need to be creative. There's a lot of other options before going remote. I don't know if for next week, if hybrid, if numbers are still high and people are out, if hybrid can be discussed or some other options. I am more than willing to drive my kids to school and other kids if busing is an issue, but they have to be in school. It's a must. Thank you.
I see another individual, but I don't see a name. Oh, Jamie Ostino, thank you.
Hi, thank you. My name is Jamie Ostino. I live at 167 William Feather Drive. I'd like to thank the teachers for their dedication to our children. I'm so fortunate to have two teachers for my daughters that are patient, caring, and truly real live angels here on earth. They make remote learning from their classrooms look easy, and I know that they must be thoroughly exhausted. Even though my children are so fortunate to have the best teachers, they've been devastated by the move to all remote. My 9-year-old sobbed when she found out about the transition. She's hearing impaired and virtual learning is a disaster for her. You have not made accommodations for her and you are violating her 504. We have had accommodations for those with disabilities in the past, and I'm not sure how you are continuing to fail to offer them now. Children with disabilities should be in school tomorrow. My 6-year-old, she woke up on the first day of all remote excited for the experience. She was excited because I did my very best to help her be excited, even though I feared how she would sit in front of the computer from 9 until 3:20, and I worried what it would do to her. By 1 p.m. that first day, she told me she felt sick to her stomach from staring at the computer. On the morning of the second day, she woke up crying, begging me not to make her sit in front of the computer. I sit next to her all day because her attention span doesn't allow me to leave her side. The entire district should never go all remote. Should you need to close an individual classroom or even an individual school due to staffing shortages, so be it. If my children show up to school and you cannot teach them, call me, I'll come pick them up. The entire district closing shows either one, a lack of desire or effort to keep it open for our children, or bowing down to political pressures. If there is an issue with busing, most of us would gladly bring our kids to school. If there's an issue with food services, we'd pack their lunches. We should never close in anticipation of staff shortages. Wait until they occur and then close each classroom accordingly. I know you touched on CDC guidelines, but they should be followed, which only require a 5-day quarantine. If you're having staffing issues, obviously transitioning to that would help solve that issue. There is no consideration for working parents. Those that are able to be home with their children and have family support have no idea what it's like to manage 2 years of constant school closures while trying to keep your job and trying to help children navigate online learning. We need communication. Please communicate with parents and explain what we can expect for next week right now. We cannot sit here waiting to be at the mercy of a phone call at 8:30 on a Sunday evening. Our children still don't have their textbooks and there's no effort to be being made for them to obtain them. I'm assuming our children will be back on Monday. It sounds like we're hearing comments made like they will be back on Monday, but I pray that they are because no effort is being made to get them their textbooks on track. All the districts around us.
That's time.
Mhm.
We don't have anyone else in the queue. Is there anyone else in the public that would like to speak? Jamie Ostino?
Yes, hi. I just wanted to mention the one last thing that I'd like to ask. I'd like to ask the board to hold a special election to replace board member Dawn Wallace. Her replacement should be chosen by the taxpayers. Political agendas should not be involved. Please hold a special election to replace her.
All right, that closes the public portion of the meeting, public participation. Now on to board comments.
May I go now?
Sure,
Yeah.
yes, please. Yes.
Okay, thank you. First, I wanted to say I'm so happy to be a part of the board and start my term tonight. I ran under one main principle to represent the special education and the special needs population of our community and to give a voice to our board. And this week, my 6th grader is suffering tremendously by being on remote school. It has been a struggle every minute of the day to sit with him, make him attend, and even have any interest in going online to classes. It has nothing to do with the teachers. I think it's just the whole dynamic. Remote learning does not work for general ed kids, and it definitely does not work for special education children. So I am here as a new board member, as a parent of a special needs child, and tell you it is a struggle every single day to really be at home with my child, and to really, I'm very upset that he's really losing this whole week of potential education. So I wanted to say that. And my other principle is that I ran on is we have to really learn to live with COVID, and it's not going away. And I think we all need to kind of grasp that idea. And I appreciate testing and everything, but I think we really need to kind of focus on the kids and their social and emotional health. And I think that's the most critical component right now. Thank you.
Marissa?
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to send my heartfelt condolences to our community for the loss of a student, a tragic loss. So I wanted to send my condolences out to the family, to the teachers, and to the students. Please use all of the resources that we have available if you feel you need them. I know those were sent out by the principal, Mrs. Calabria, earlier this week. Secondly, I wanted to note that in December, I was able to attend the VMS winter concert. It was a really great event. Couple important notes from there. One of the songs that was played for us was a song that was about to be shared with the community right before COVID started. So it was very moving to hear the students who had literally been practicing that song for 2 years and finally got to be on stage and perform in front of their families at the VMS Theater. Even though seating was limited and only a couple family members of each student could attend, it was really nice to be able to be there and to see that. I wanted to thank all of the teachers involved in that and Mrs. Calabria for the invitation to attend on behalf of the board.
Any other board comments? I don't see any other comments. We are going to move to executive session. I do not foresee this being very long for purposes of the public, but we are going to sign off of this Zoom and then rejoin. Just so everybody understands what's going on, but I did want to give everybody a heads up. It definitely won't be more than 30 minutes, but I don't even think it will be that long, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. Can I get a motion to move to executive session?
So moved.
So move. Second.
Online voting is open.
Mine still doesn't work, so if you could just,
2 yes? Okay.
yes, thank you. Apologies.
No problem. Next meeting will be fine. Okay, it's unanimous. We will go into executive.
Okay. Be it resolved that pursuant to Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, the public shall be excluded from that portion of the meeting involving discussion of employment contracts. Further resolved that discussion of such matter in executive session can be disclosed to the public at such time as the board takes formal action. Further resolved that the board may be in executive session. It's not going to be for more than 30 minutes, but action will be taken upon return to public session. We will return.
like I said, and I know it's. No, not. Oh.
Are we still missing Dana?
Yes, we're waiting for Dana.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. She's asking me if we can see her. You can't hear me.
Oh, there, I see her. I
You
see.
guys had me as an attendee, not a panelist, so that's why I can't get in.
Lord.
Every single time I try to get in, it says I'm an attendee. That's what's happening.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
Sorry. Oh, God.
Can I get a motion to come back to regular session?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, who said first?
I did, Marissa Levy.
Okay, thank you. And who was second?
Rachel.
Rachel, okay, sorry. I have two computers going here. All right, online voting is open. Should I just click unanimous?
That works for me.
Okay.
Trying to figure out where I'm at, though.
Okay.
Oh, I got it here. There you go.
Okay.
All right, I found it.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Mrs. Stupler, do you want me to write yes for you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm closing online voting, saving it. Okay. All right. Now we're on to the next section. Now, this next section, we have a motion that can approve all of them, which is 12.1, or we can do each of them. I don't know how you would like to proceed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do each one because,
Okay.
yeah, do each one.
Okay, so we'll skip 12.1. So go ahead on to 12.2.
So can I get a motion to approve appointing Todd Saylor of Bowman and Company LLP as auditor for the period from January 5th, 2022 to January 2023 board reorganization meeting as per the following resolution?
So
Do I have to read all of that? No. Do I have to read all that?
No, I think it's okay. Dr. Levy is one and second.
I'll second that. It's John.
Thank you.
Apparently me and Marissa sound a lot alike.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at one computer for the board docs and I have my face over here and I can't see both.
You're good, Helen.
I did say it, so I think we were at the same time.
Okay, all right. So I'm opening the online voting. Mrs. Stupler, yes or no?
Can I abstain, please?
Sure, yes, that's fine. All right, motion carries 7 yes, 1 abstention.
Can I get a motion to, no, that's wrong. Can I get a motion to approve Frank Cavallo of the firm Parker McKay as board solicitor for the period from January 5th, 2022 through January 2023 board reorganization meeting as per the following resolution? See the resolution.
So
I'll move that. Or
Second.
else-
I'm going to put Mr. Bryce as first and Mr. Schmooze as second. Is that okay? Online voting is open. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on this one?
No.
All right, I'm going to read off the vote. Mr. Bryce, yes. Mrs. Cosenza, yes. Mrs. Galliano, no. Dr. Levy, yes. Mr. Schmooze, yes. Mrs. Van Auken, yes. Mrs. Watson, yes. Mrs. Stupler, no. So I have 6 yes, 2 no. Motion carries.
Can I get a motion to approve Parker McKay as Labor Counsel for the period from January 5th, 2022 through the January 2023 board reorganization meeting as per the following resolution? Please see the resolution.
So moved.
second,
Voting is open. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on this one?
Abstain.
Okay, we have 7 yeses, 1 abstention. I'll now close the vote.
Can I get a motion to approve appointing Lan Associate as architect of record for the period from January 5th, 2022 through January 2023 board reorganization meeting as per the below resolution?
So moved. Second.
Can you tell me who seconded? I saw Dana was first.
That was me, Helen.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to be better with, talking louder
That's okay, that's all right.
or unmuting quicker.
No problem. Okay, voting is open. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on this one?
Abstain, please.
Okay. Motion carries 7 yes, 1 abstention.
Can I get a motion to approve the MOU for police services for the period of 1/1/2022 through 12/31/2024 as shown on the attachment?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Online voting is open. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on that one?
Abstain, please.
Okay, 7 yeses, 1 abstention. Motion carries.
And Helen, for the board member appointments, I'm not actually appointing the individuals, or am I asking for them right now?
What we're doing is I think there was an email, and I would have to go find mine. There was an email where we were asking if people wanted to keep their role in
roles before,
different-
yeah.
Yeah, and there was one that was open. I have to go back and look at my emails.
I have it.
You have
yeah.
that? Okay. If you could read off who currently has each
Okay.
position, and then the one that's open, and if everybody's fine with keeping their position, that's fine. And if anybody wants the open one, that would be great too.
Okay. Um, I thought I had it. Hold on.
I can try to find it in my email.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought I had it open. Hold on. It was from you, correct?
It was from Trisha.
Ah, that's right. Yes, okay, I have it. Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so. The current board member appointments are, I'm not going to follow this list because I'm just going to follow this one. Miss Galliano, we have you as the Camden County School Boards Association Executive Committee representative. Do you want to remain in that role?
Yes, please.
Mrs. Van Auken, you are New Jersey School Boards Association delegate. Do you want to remain in that role?
Yes, please.
Dr. Levy, you are the New Jersey School Boards Association alternate delegate. Would you like to remain in that role?
Yes, please.
Mr. Schmus, you are the Camden County Educational Services Commission representative. Would you like to remain in that role?
Yes, please.
We have an open, I'm sorry?
I was just laughing at everyone saying, yes, please.
We have an open role for New Jersey School Boards Association legislative representative. Can I get a volunteer for that role? Kelly, winner, winner.
Hand.
Thank you so much for volunteering. So we will add Kelly as the New Jersey School Boards Association legislative representative. And those are the appointments. So can I get a motion to approve those appointments?
I'll move that.
Second.
Online voting is open. Some have not come through yet. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on this one?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Auken, yours has not come through yet. Motion is unanimous and it passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under personnel?
So moved.
Second?
Voting is open. Mrs. Stupler, how would you like to vote on this one?
Yes.
Unanimous motion carries.
On January 10th, 2022 at 7 p.m., we will be holding a special meeting. The Board of Education will immediately adjourn to executive session. The meeting will be held remotely at 7 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is for the Hazard, Young, Atea, and Associates to present the superintendent candidate slate to the Board of Education as part of the superintendent search schedule and other personnel items. On January 24th, 2022 at 7 p.m., we will have our next regular scheduled meeting at the administrative building. Please note that the date has changed. It is January 24th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.